Hello, I'm Michelle Horton and I'm a Senior Information Security Consultant at Advent IM. I specialise in incident management, breach management, data protection services, as well as serving as an information asset owner. Welcome to my case study.
What procedures did the client have in place prior to the project starting?
So this was purely a 6-week holiday cover period for the contractor that needed to go off for a 6-week as per the policy to refresh their contract.
Why was the organisation looking to add external security support? What kind of issues were they facing?
Well, the issues they were facing actually started much earlier than when they even thought about requiring our services. The organisation had actually been posting for a full-time permanent position for the previous 5 years. However, due to the responsibilities and the salary banding, the location, they just weren't finding the right people, which was why, as a quick win, they got a contractor to fulfil the role. But as per their policy, after 2 years of a contract being in post, they need to take a 6-week break before the contract can be renewed, which is why they called on us at Advent IM to utilise the MySecurityManager role.
How did the client go about choosing a supplier, Michelle?
The organisation were currently working with us on other projects such as their accreditation programme. They'd worked with us previously and were fully aware of the services we offered, the certifications that we held, our experiences and that all-important security clearance. So it was very easy, very quick to just get us in.
So why did the client choose Advent IM?
Because they'd already worked with us previously and had really great experience. The thing with Advent IM is our consultants are really experienced, highly qualified and security cleared, which means we could just go into the organisation and hit the ground running. They were also aware of our overall expertise and our ethics to our work values, and that we could uphold and improve theirs also. The fact we are security cleared is also an added bonus, because this organisation required security cleared staff, which if you're in the business you know that type of thing takes a long time to obtain. So the fact we are security cleared is also the added bonus.
What outcomes did you expect from the project initially?
Initially, as the project was only for a 6-week holiday cover period, our goal was to just make sure any incidents, any breaches were dealt with in a timely manner. The initial outcome was not to get involved in anything too heavy, because we were due to only be there for that 6-week period.
So what deliverable did Advent IM put in?
So the deliverable was for the MySecurityManager role, but they was only going to utilise a small part of that MySecurityManager role, which was to respond to incidents and data breaches, provide the investigation support and any support required to the ICO. However, it soon turned into a much bigger role, and they actually utilised the full potential of the MySecurityManager role. As it's not just in our nature just to do that small portion. We like to go above and beyond, and if we can help, that is what we're there to do, and there's no task too big, too small, and we was going to provide that organisation with the support using the full potential of the MySecurityManager role. Word of mouth within that organisation got round of how approachable and how supportive we were. So before we knew it, we wasn't just responding to incidents, to breaches, we were actually being a lot more proactive. People were contacting us to ask for advice, to ask if we would help them to go against a policy for the right reasons, and overall make information security a positive experience within that organisation.
How did the deliverables that the client received compare with the initial expectations?
It was assumed with the MySecurityManager role that would be quite absent and detached from the organisation and just deal with what we were given to investigate, do what we needed to do and then become radio silent again. However, that was not the case. We heard on the grapevine that is what the current service they received from the contractor that was in place, that they did their thing and they disappeared off into the distance. However, we were upfront, we were friendly, we were helpful, we were honest, because we feel that is the best way to improve information security culture. Therefore, after a few short weeks into our 6-week holiday cover, the contractor we were covering was told they wouldn't be returning and that we was to remain in post for the foreseeable future until they could find a permanent member of staff to fulfil the role. it was a seamless continuation into the service, as we'd already established ourselves quite well within the organisation, building up the rapport with feedback from the head of IT saying, oh, I didn't realise how friendly and approachable you would actually be, which was really nice feedback to receive. And the MySecurityManager role was obviously making a real difference in this organisation.
So Michelle, how did the deliverables at a MySecurityManager improve what was already in place?
So from our understanding, the contractor that was fulfilling that role was quite distant, quite absent, did what they needed to do and then logged off at the end of the day. Therefore, the standard was set quite low and was quite easy to raise that bar, which is what we always aim to do, even if that standard was already quite high. But as I said, in this case, the bar was quite low, so we started from ground zero. Therefore, with mindful education and how things are processed, the rationale for it, and providing that education transfer and that knowledge transfer onto the organisation and their people, it overall helps improve the security culture because people understand what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to do, and it starts to get embedded throughout the teams, and you can see the light bulb moments people begin to have as you're explaining, as you're going through things in detail with them.
So how is the project managed and what level of involvement did the consultants have?
So the MySecurityManager role reported into the Head of Information Assurance and Risk Advice. However, they felt confident enough just to leave us alone and only checked in with us bi-weekly. They felt confident enough that we knew what we were doing and we were there to help the organisation, and we would do the tasks aligned to us and more. She even felt confident enough to actually delegate some of her responsibilities down to us, as she felt we would have a better input from an external point of view, and overall that would provide a better picture for any work that was ongoing.
Did the Advent IM consultants demonstrate their knowledge and expertise?
Absolutely. So there was 3 of us that were involved in this particular area of work. You've got my expertise, which is your ISO 27001, your business continuity. You had my colleague, whose expertise was data protection, and then you had my manager, who was involved, the managing consultant, and his expertise is a bit more of the technological side of it. So between us, there was no question that we couldn't answer, and if one of us didn't know, we had a whole team of consultants behind us, so there was no Googling, no guesswork, solid facts, and we were drawing on expertise from a whole wide-ranging team of consultants behind us.
So what were the next steps in terms of actioning the project outcome?
So the project outcome was ultimately to get a permanent member of staff in. So we took the time to sit with the head of risk and assurance to go through the job role, the responsibilities, and ultimately the grading, to get it all up to date, up to speed, and so we could get some real people that were actually suitable for the role to be interviewed and ultimately brought on board. So once we managed to get the banding right and we posted the job publicly, we helped with interviews, with questioning, and finally we chose somebody to come on board. And once they were on board, they needed to get security cleared, so we were there for an extra couple of months just to do the hand holding and to make sure there was a full and thorough handover process from the MySecurityManager role over to the new permanent member of staff that will be continuing this journey with the organisation.
So what lasting benefits do you think you've left behind at the organisation, and what did they have to say to you?
They were quite upset that we left, but we've made a really good starting point for the new permanent member of staff, which, even though they are the new information security manager for this organisation, they were deeply upset that I've left. We still remain good friends. We're connected on LinkedIn, we have each other's phone number, and he does check in with me every now and again to see how I am. He tells me that the culture is continuously improving, and that is based on what we started for them, and he's so grateful that we did all the hard work, so it's made it a lot easier for him to continue this information improvement journey for that organisation. So therefore, Advent IM left a lasting legacy of positivity within that organisation.
And will the client choose Advent IM again in the future?
Absolutely, the door remains open, as my account with them hasn't been deactivated, it's more been put into a dormant state, so if for any reason the new member of permanent staff takes any time off or is unwell, they can call us, make sure I've got equipment, and I can log on, hit the ground running. So we are there on standby for the foreseeable future with them.